Hey YouTube, what's going on? Wanted to talk today about just a little bit of a history lesson, I guess, and some reasoning behind the decisions that I've made recently. So, obviously, I'm not playing a Bach large tenor anymore, and that should be, at least a little bit of a surprise. I've been playing some sort of 42 basically the whole time that I've been playing a large tenor, which has been a while. Since high school. I played a 4B starting in high school. Obviously, I've always been concentrated on bass trombone, but the large tenor has always been a pretty close double that I've played. And this is really the first time that I've really stepped away from Bach. Now, why would I do that? Well, obviously, I'm a huge Bach fan. I think the LT16M, which is over there, that I just bought, I think is Bach number 17 or Bach number 18. I can't remember, actually. Every time I do this, I have to count through all the Bachs I've ever owned, and then I always lose track. So, in any case, almost the 20th Bach that I've owned. Obviously, right now, I own like 2.5 Bachs, not very many. And a lot of that is just due to Bach inconsistency. Since I've owned so many and I've played so many at shows and I've played lots of friends' horns, vintage horns and otherwise, they've all been so different from each other. And obviously, Bach makes a lot of different models, but even the ones that are the same, all the 42s I've played have been different, all the 50s I've played have been different. That inconsistency is one of Bach's strengths, actually, because, for instance, someone like Yamaha can make a very consistent instrument like the YSL 882, which is a very standard large bore tenor, and it's pretty good, and they're all pretty good. The problem is, pretty good isn't good enough for some people, so they kind of get stuck in this corner of, well, if you really need a large horn and you don't really care about what it sounds like, then you get a Yamaha. Whereas with Bach, you have just trillions of different kinds of Bachs, and then trillions of different levels of Bachs. Some are great, some are terrible, some are in between. So you always have this inkling that any 42 that you pick up might be a magic 42 or a magic 50 or whatever. It could be that lifetime horn. And I've played, I would say, 1 or 2 lifetime Bachs. My old teacher Jim has a 42T, just a stock 90s 42T. I think he has the lead pipe pulled, and that's pretty much it. And it is one of the best trombones I've ever played. It's way better than this in every way. Sound, playability, everything. And just the fact that there are Bachs like that out there means that Bach is on a higher level to some people than Yamaha is. Despite Yamaha being so consistent, building their horns so well, doing so many things right, the fact that Bach can randomly sometimes just put out a magic instrument will mean that it's a better choice for some people. And I'm definitely in that camp. Right now, my bass, in many ways, not in every way, but in a lot of ways, is kind of one of those magic Bachs. I would put it in like the second or third tier down from the magic perfect instrument. It's so good at so many things. It sounds awesome. It's so easy to play. I love it. And I just haven't had the luck of finding a 42 like that. I know they're out there. I've played 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 probably 42s that I really, really liked, but none of them were available to me easily. And just trying to find one is so difficult. Over in another corner is Edwards. Edwards has been making custom trombones, custom modular trombones for 20-something years now. I guess longer than that, a little bit. They started in the mid-90s, I guess. And they've been going kind of different path. They took some elements from the Bach series of trombones, just kind of the way they're built, the tapers and whatnot. Didn't copy them, but just kind of used the same stuff. And really just ironed out a lot of the kinks. One of the things that makes a magical sound is just the weird quirks in a design, like the 88H or the 42 or the 50. Just random spots where the horn is smaller than it should be, or the way the tuning slides are made or whatever, can make a horn just sound really good. Obviously, not all those little inconsistencies, all those weird things do make a horn sound good, but that tends to be true. And when you iron all those out, you kind of lose some of that interesting stuff in the sound. And for some people, including me right now, it just doesn't matter. When you iron all those things out, the horn becomes so easy to play. It becomes so consistent over the whole range. And that trade-off between playability and sound, playability goes way up here, it's worth it, especially for me, who's someone is as a doubler, quote-unquote. This is not the instrument I play every day all the time. The sound that I make is not absolutely the most important thing to me. I want to make a great sound, don't get me wrong. But the sound I make on this is perfectly acceptable to me, and since I can play it, since I can make the sounds I want to make more easily than I can on any of the 42s I've had, the trade-off is not even a trade-off. I get everything I want. So that is my reasoning behind getting an Edwards, which I've always kind of scoffed at as, easy mode of trombones or something like that. I mean, I totally get it. This horn is so easy to play, and it makes the sounds I want to make. And of course, I shouldn't really say that because half of my bass has been Edwards for the last year and a half, and that has made my life a lot easier. So there you go. That's my reasonings behind getting an Edwards, something that I actually thought I would probably never do. And I'll probably have a video more about this later. I've been playing it a lot in preparation for an upcoming thing. And it's just continues to get better with me. I hope that was informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.